Talking with the Chief Minister, the ongoing situation with the Ramsey Post Office, which we're hearing this, we're hearing that. It's going back and forth. Yeah. You've now joined the fray saying you're going to get everyone around the table. But what do you know? Because we are being told everyone's been covered by these clauses that they can't mention this, yet things drip out all the time. Yeah. It was interesting that they both released their own separate press releases, for instance, when it was called off. And I know there was pressure to make one, for instance, but I can't get that on the record. You might want to say something about that, but clearly this has not been a happy experience by the looks of it.
No, I have to say I'm extremely unhappy about the way this whole thing has turned out. Just on that press release alone, I was pushing hard for them to have a joint explanation as to why this failed. I wasn't able to get them to agree to that, so we've ended up with two press releases. I think the majority of people in Ramsey were very concerned to lose the thought of losing their post office. There was strong feeling in town at that time, and the committee, substantial committee, was set up to start these negotiations with the post office. Now, these have been going on for months. I think they started March, April time. And I'm still hearing on both sides differing interpretations as to why, after several months, this particular proposal failed. Bearing in mind that the alternative arrangements for Douglas, which Manning
Retail
is going to run, was completed in a very short period of time and really should have had an almost identical agreement. I can't understand how it took so long for negotiations with Ramsey to ultimately fall through.
And the mood music had been so good. I mean, up to the last minute, it seems.
Up to the last week, because although I've not taken a lead on it, behind the scenes, because I'm Chief Minister, I have to keep a distance from some of these things. I've been doing my best behind the scenes to facilitate the successful conclusion. I thought we were making very good progress. A number of what had been obstacles I'd arranged to be cleared off the decks. I thought we were home and dry. And then completely out of the blue, the whole thing, to me anyway, fell apart. Now, I need to take time now over the next week or two to talk to the players in it to find out exactly what did happen. And there's two other issues. We have to see what is anything solvable from it. But of course, Ramsey still has to have a post office. What will the future be for Ramsey Post Office? We can't just leave an open-ended thing. You can't just close the post office.
Well, no, but they've asked for these new tenders, so it'll go somewhere, won't it?
It will, but it's not leaving very much time for a new tender to come in. It's a very short period of time, and which buildings are going to be used? If it's not going to be the courthouse, then that raises another question. What is going to happen to the courthouse building? That's an iconic building in the centre of Ramsey, which the people of Ramsey are equally concerned about.
Well, we've got some shots inside of it. Up and upstairs, the police used to have that bit.
Yes,
and the old cells are still in there. It's quite interesting.
The post office use of that building is only about 1/3 of the overall building. So there's a huge area in there which could be used for other things. We need to be sure that that building is secured and is used very much for the community of Ramsey.
Okay, well, I mean, we were hearing that there was obviously a lot of goodwill to start with, and it seemed to evaporate. Mr. Kelly, I know he doesn't have to be involved, but he didn't seem to be involved. He left it to his people below him, and that's where, again, we can't say anything fully because everyone is bound by these confidentiality clauses, but there seemed to be friction caused. I'm careful with my words. I know you'll have heard exactly the same thing. Do you think that is an issue here, that it was a bit of, you've got to sign this, you've got to do this, you've got to take on indemnities if you take it on, and suddenly it all became too much for these people?
I have to be careful about what I say at the moment because I honestly don't know what the true figure
You'll be hearing this as well, though, both sides. Right?
I'm hearing on both sides. There are two interpretations of what happened. I still struggle to understand why an amicable agreement could not have been made based on what was or what appeared to be goodwill on all sides to begin with. I can't really make much more comment now because I don't know the answers other than to express my extreme disappointment we've ended up in this situation.
The problem here is we'll never know, will we, because of these confidentiality clauses. We'll hear things and they'll be on forums and it'll be here, there and everywhere, but will we ever hear and find out, truthfully why it fell down and learn from those mistakes?
Certainly, whatever is learned will have to be assimilated and made absolutely sure this can't happen again in the future. It's not been helpful to the post office for its own image. I think it's not been enhanced in Ramsey. The post office now equally has another problem because the timetable they were working on was based on making a certain financial saving this year. They've lost all that saving. Where does that money come from now? There's an awful lot that we've got to learn from this. As I say, I would love to be able to give you all these answers now, but I don't know them myself. I've not got a clear picture from both sides as to what happened.
Can you make it a point then, at some point, that all parties will be able to talk publicly about this? Can they be released from these confidentiality clauses so we can hear from them direct?
I hope that will be the case, that there will be a definitive explanation at the end of this, but I can't give any definite statement at this stage. I just don't know enough about this detail.
You're meeting them? You're having a
I'm trying to put a meeting together.
Still trying then? So
well, I had hoped to have a meeting next week, but this time of year, people are on holiday.
Okay.
I've not been able to get all the people I need together. But I will be getting the information together as soon as I possibly can, and then see where we go from there.
So when you're in that room, you'll be able to hear from both parties,
Absolutely.
and that'll be because you'll be
Yes.
under the confidentiality, no doubt, and you will have a firm idea exactly.
I want a
what's
clear explanation from both sides, and I don't want any obfuscation or anything of it. I need to know exactly what has happened on both sides so that I can understand what steps government can take for the future, how to protect the interest of the post office, and in particular how to protect the interest of the people of Ramsey.
And as you say, this is dead now. This deal is gone because they've re-advertised it.
Yes, they have
back to Plan A, isn't it?
re-advertised it. But of course, then we've got to get people to apply. And will anyone else apply with such a short time frame? You know, there are many, many questions at the end of this. I think there's huge disappointment all around. I think because of that disappointment, we have a duty to come forward and explain exactly what happened. And at the moment, I don't know any more about the areas you're talking about than the average man in the street. And that's not acceptable, frankly, for a chief minister to be kept in the dark in this way.